from the betting capital of the world, giving raw and real breakdowns. Live from the betting capital of the world, giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else, with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, here to go over UFC Vegas 72, Curtis Blaydes versus Sergei Pavlovich. This main event is going to be a banger of a fight. We're in the small Apex cage, so we're going to be seeing violence no matter what. It does suck. We are coming off a losing week, as we did lose 2.54 units at UFC Kansas City, but it's all good. We're going to bounce back this week. And yeah, man, our first losing week in about a month. Our picks went 10-3, but we managed to lose money still. That's always tough, but this is going to be a pretty fun fight night card, man. So let's get right into the fights, because right away, we have action on that first fight. Straight away, I have 1.5 units on Danaa Batgerel to defeat Brady Hiestand. So Batgerel comes in the fight on a 2-fight losing streak. He's 12-4, while Brady comes in, he's 6-2, coming off defeating Fernie Garcia. Now, this fight is pretty basic, man. Danaa Batgerel is going to absolutely knock out Brady. If he can defend some takedowns here, Brady's going to be diving into legs, trying to get this fight on the mat as soon as possible. There is no way he can afford to have this fight get extended on the feet whatsoever at all. Fernie Garcia almost knocked out Brady Hiestand within 10 seconds of his last fight. Ricky Tercios, who has no power whatsoever, almost knocked out Brady Hiestand as well. And so Brady, to me, on the feet is just so liable to get knocked out. His striking is so green, but he is a very good grappler, guys. This guy knows what he's doing on the mat, but he was reversed a couple times against Fernie. And he seems to have a good enough gas tank to use that, I guess you could say, game plan for all 3 rounds in this fight. He's going to have to get Danaa down in those first 2 rounds and hold him down or submit him within those first 10 minutes and then survive that last 5, because I'm telling you guys, I think Danaa Batgerel is going to spark this kid. I'm pretty confident in this fight. I'm pretty confident that Danaa finishes this kid. I understand there's a huge age gap, and for me, if you watch the show, you usually know that I bet on the way younger fighter here. Brady Hiestand will be 23 years old, while Danaa is 33, but I'm not worried about it, man. Danaa's fought way better, guys. Even his last fight against Gun Ho Kang, that was a close fight, man. He lost via decision, but I think Kong would absolutely rock Brady as well, man. Give me Danaa Batgerel to win. Let's go, Danaa. Let's go, Mongolia. After that, we have, I will say, Brady's a cool guy, man. I met him at a local regional MMA show, and he was a really cool guy, man. We chopped it up. He was celebrating his homie Ashton Charlton's knockout win. And I will say his eyes were red as hell. That fool needed some eye drops, and I can tell he didn't have any on him. But he's a cool guy, man. Nothing against the kid, but I just don't think that he's UFC level, honestly, and I really do think that he's going to get knocked out. Up next, we have Priscila Cachoeira versus Karine Silva. Cachoeira comes in 12-4. Karine Silva comes in 15-4. Now, her line's been on the move as money's been coming in on Silva, and I get it, man. So right here on the screen, it says she's minus 165, and she's been bet all the way to minus 200. While Zombie Girl Priscila Cachoeira on the comeback is around plus 150, man. She's 34 years old, getting up there for women's MMA, fighting the 29-year-old Silva here in this fight. And Silva has her covered pretty much everywhere, except for the offensive striking, man. Priscila Cachoeira, I understand, has no striking defense whatsoever at all. She does not care at all if you hit her, as long as she can land 1-2. She's a very tough girl, and that's what wins her fights. In her last win against Ariane Lipski, she absolutely dusted her, which is really surprising because Ariane Lipski came out and then dusted her next opponent, which I did not see happening at all. But Karine Silva, dude, she's a finisher. She's 15-4, has 15 finishes, dude. She has never won a decision in her MMA career. And I think that she's going to finish Priscila Cachoeira in this fight. And I think that she's going to do it via submission. It's one thing to have very suspect striking defense, Priscila, and it's another thing to have very suspect takedown defense. And I think that's going to be the thing that costs her big time in this fight. If this is a 15-minute striking fight, I'd actually favor Priscila to win a decision. But I know she's going to get taken down at some point in this fight. And I know that Silva's BJJ is almost the elite, man. I honestly would say that it was almost to the elite level. It's up there, man. She's a really good grappler. But give me Silva to win this fight via submission that third round. Up next, man, we have money on this fight as well. We have a parlay piece. We have Francis Marshall taking on William Gomis. Francis Marshall comes in 7-0, undefeated prospect against William Jaguar Gomis, 11-2 from France, a pretty good French prospect as well. He comes in at plus 160. And now we took Francis Marshall at minus 200 and parlayed him with someone else on the card we'll talk about later. The tail of the tape's pretty similar, man. 24 years old for Marshall, 25-year-old for William. 6 foot, though, for William. Very, very tall for the division against a 5'9" Francis Marshall. So he's going to have to get in the inside and close distance here on William. Similar reach, even though their height is way different there. I got Francis Marshall to win this fight. I just think that he's a way more well-rounded fighter. He has a good wrestling base, and with his striking, he's so short, and he throws short punches and short combinations, but he does a really good job of pulling the punch back. He doesn't stick it out there and kind of lazily bring it back. He's very aware of what he's doing as far as throwing those punches and getting them back here and being safe when he does throw. William Gomis, to me, has one of the... It's funny, I have my notes right here, and I put William Gomis stance, WTF, because his stance is so strange. His feet are about this far apart, and when you do that, dude, you're fixing to get knocked out. His hands are kind of by his shoulders, and he tends to fight with his hands low because he's so long, dude. He has pretty good striking, pretty good hands, 1-2s down the middle, but he does have a really good body kick with that rear leg. But he's still way too comfortable, for my opinion, off his back. He can get taken down very easily, and he's comfortable with those long limbs on trying to, search submissions off his back. I remember I was kind of iffy on him in his debut where he did win. But in this fight, Francis actually, I faded him in his last fight. I had Marcelo Rojo in that fight. I thought Rojo was a good underdog shot, and he dusted Rojo, man. He made him look bad, and that impressed me. So it was one of those things where I bet against the guy. He impressed me in that showing, and I, remembered, okay, the next time this guy fights, if it's a good stylistic matchup, I'm gonna bet on him, and it is. I think that Gomez is, like I said, very comfortable off his back, comfortable getting taken down. He has way too much faith in his jiu-jitsu, and Francis throws more. He's gonna have more volume and the cleaner technique in this fight. The size is a little bit worrisome here, but give me Francis Marshall, man, 7-0, and I think he's gonna continue his little protege ways here, undefeated, get that 8-0 record. Up next, man, is a kind of a banger, man. We have Mohammed Usman versus Junior Tafa. Mohammed Usman, obviously the brother of Kamaru Usman, coming in, taking on Junior Tafa, who's the brother of Junior Tafa. I'm sorry, Justin Tafa, the brother of Justin Tafa. Man, I get them mixed up all the time. They look exactly the same. Look at my screen, dude. They look like twins. This is insane. So the thing with this fight is, right there on the screen, you see right there, Junior Tafa minus 190, right? So he's not minus 190 anymore. Money has been coming in on Usman left and right, hand over fist. This is a pick'em now, minus 110 both sides, and I think Junior Tafa is going to knock out Usman. I think that Usman has a clear path to victory here, and that's to utilize his grappling and size. Usman is one of those guys where he'll shoot you, he'll shoot a takedown on you, and obviously you'll stuff it and get pressed against the cage, and when you slam into the cage, the whole cage rocks. That's how big and powerful this guy is. He reminds me of Francis Ngannou doing it against Cyril Gane. That's the one thing that he has going for him in this fight, because Junior Tafa is a kickboxer. If you see on that screen right there, it says 4-0. He has no experience whatsoever, and I think he's been a pro MMA fighter for less than a year. It's just that his brother is Justin, and this kid's kickboxing and Muay Thai is elite, dude. Well, I don't know about elite, but it's really, really good, man. It's high level for sure, and that's why I think he's going to knock out Usman. Usman's striking is very basic. I thought he was losing that Zach Paga fight up until the knockout. And against that Brandon Sales fight, that was just so bad, man. He got dominated on the mat there. He looks slow, and that's the thing I don't like about Usman. He's 34 years old, and he's just slow and heavy, man. He's someone that relies big time, almost supremely 100% on his athleticism, his ability to explode into someone and just catch him and be the quicker guy and land first, because his striking defense is not there, his fighting IQ is not there, his grapplings are all right, but even then he got dominated by Sales in that PFL fight. I mean, I've never been high on Usman, even before the Ultimate Fighter days. I've kind of honestly thought he's not that good at fighting, so give me Junior Tafa, the one-dimensional striker, to win this fight via knockout. I actually might think I might bet that prop if it's a good enough price and plus money. Give me Junior Tafa to win via knockout. Up next, we have the first fight that I think is really, really tough to call. We have Karol Rosa going up a weight class to face Norma Dumont. Karol Rosa comes in 16-4, while Norma Dumont comes in 8-2. Karol Rosa right there, it says on the screen she's a favorite at minus 150, and money's been coming in on Norma Dumont, moving this line all the way to minus 110 pick 'em both ways. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Norma Dumont actually finish the favorite. Now, Rosa will be younger. She's 28 years old compared to Norma Dumont, who's 32. And right here on the size and reach, it says that Karol Rosa is 5'5" and Norma Dumont is 5'7". But I actually think that when they face off, they're going to look closer to evenly matched. I know Karol Rosa is going up a weight class, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her look like the bigger fighter in this fight. Norma Dumont is super heavy on her lower half, if you know what I'm talking about. She has a dump truck, dude. She has some tree trunks back there, and she said that low center of gravity, super hard to take down at times, but it's a pretty evenly matched fight. I think Karol will have the quicker striking in this fight. I think she'll have the speed advantage. But Norma Dumont's fought in this weight class for longer, and it's always weird to me when fighters switch weight classes, you know? It's tough, man. It's funny to see that she was minus 150 to now that she's a pick'em. I wouldn't personally bet Norma Dumont. I wouldn't bet this fight at all, honestly. Maybe the over 2.5 is probably a parlay piece, but that's probably gonna be like minus 350. At that point, it's tough, man. It's tough to bet that much juice on, you know, if a girl slips on a banana peel, gives up her neck, and gets choked out on the way up. Give me Karol Rosa to win a decision in this fight, but it's a tough fight, dude. Norma is big, she's thick, she can utilize her grappling, really utilize that clinch along the cage. But on the feet at separation, I think Karol Rosa will be getting the better of her. Give me Karol Rosa to win via decision in a tough fight. Up next, we have Rani Yahya taking on Montel Jackson. Rani Yahya comes in with a 28-10-1 record, while Montel Jackson comes in with a 12-2 record. This is the biggest favorite on the card. And rightfully so, man. Montel Jackson comes in at minus 625, and the comeback on Rani Yahya plus 430. Big thing we got to talk about in this fight is the age gap here. So Rani Yahya, 38 years old. Montel Jackson, 30 years old, 5'10 to 5'6. 75-inch reach to 68-inch reach. So literally 8 years younger, 4 inches taller, almost a 10-inch reach advantage for Montel Jackson. The thing is, Montel Jackson is super, super durable. He has the third longest active streak for most fights in a row without getting knocked out, behind John Jones and Chito Vera. And Montel Jackson, the way he wins, he's actually a decision machine. He doesn't really finish his fights, and if he does rock someone, he can't really put him away. That killer instinct is a little suspect in my opinion, but he's a way better athlete in this fight. He's a better fighter. Rani Yahya, pure jiu-jitsu. He's a one-dimensional fighter where he's going to try to be diving at the legs here. If Rani Yahya doesn't get this fight over in the first round, I think he actually gets finished for the first time in about 50 years against Montel Jackson. Dude, Montel Jackson will be way faster on the feet. He's going to be able to stuff those takedowns where Rani Yahya, he's able to pull guard, man. He's a guard puller. He's a boot scooter. But I think Montel Jackson's going to stay safe. I think Rani Yahya is going to go for broken that first round, get knocked out, and then probably retire, dude. 38 years old, what are you fighting for? Man, 38 years old, cutting down to 135. I understand he's super durable. This is a machine, but I'm going with the knockout here. I think Montel Jackson knocks him out in that. Let's go second round. Let's say Rani Yahya. No. Let's go first round. Let's go first round knockout, Montel Jackson. Let's go. Up next, we have a lightweight fight between Ricky Glenn and Christos Giagos. Ricky Glenn comes in with a 22-6-2 record, currently sitting as a minus 165 favorite. On the screen, it says right here he was a minus 210 favorite earlier in the week. So money's been coming in on his opponent, Christos Giagos. He's 34 years old, 6 foot with a 70.5-inch reach. Christos Giagos on the other side comes in with a 19-10 record, riding a 2-fight losing streak, and he currently sits as a plus 135 underdog. He's 33 years old, 5'10", with a 71.5-inch reach. Now, guys, this fight and the next fight, in my opinion, are the toughest ones to call on the entire card. In my opinion, this is a 50-50 fight. I'm going to go with Ricky Glenn, the guy with the more volume and the size on his side, man. But I can see this fight going two different ways. I can see Christos Giagos coming out and losing that first round and winning the second two, whereas I can see Ricky Glenn coming out, winning that first round and then losing the second two. Ricky Glenn hasn't fought in forever. He's coming off surgery. He hasn't fought in over a year and 5 months. Pretty inactive, whereas Christos Giagos coming off losing to Thiago Moises and Armin Tarzukian. Both guys, very high-level guys, especially Armin Tarzukian. I mean, both guys are top 15 guys, can't really hold much against the guy. It's just that the wins that he is accumulating in the UFC are against lower-level competition. So I can't really gauge where Christos Giagos is. Obviously, I expected him to lose against Tarzukian and definitely against Moises. But it's one of those things where he has the wrestling on his side. I think that he's a better grappler than Ricky Glenn. I think that Ricky Glenn has enough grappling to get up, though, in this fight and force this to be a 15-minute striking fight, which I do think that he will win. He throws way more volume than Christos Giagos. Christos Giagos is pretty comfortable being off on his back foot. He doesn't really push the pace. And I think that he's going to be looking to wrestle here all fight against Ricky Glenn. A tough fight to call, and I'm going with Ricky Glenn. And seeing that line crash, I feel like a lot of people do realize that this guy is super inactive. He's getting up there in age, 34 years old. But man, I think that he has enough going for him in this fight. This fight, I do not have a strong opinion on. Give me Ricky Glenn to win a decision. Tough fight. Up next, man, this is a good fight, dude. Jeremiah Wells comes in to face Matthew Semelsberger. Jeremiah Wells comes in 11-2-1, currently sitting as a -140 favorite. I believe that line has moved. Let me check. Let's see. Because I believe money's been coming in on Semelsberger. Yeah. This is a pick'em now, guys. So right there on the screen, -140 for Jeremiah Wells, +115 for Semelsberger. That plus money is gone. -110 both ways here, and I get it, guys. Let's start with Jeremiah Wells, 36 years old, big red flag, 5'9", 74-inch reach, fighting Matthew Semelsberger, who's 30 years old, 6'1", with a 75-inch reach. Now, Jeremiah Wells is a killer, dude. This guy is one half of my favorite MMA fight of all time. He fought against Blood Diamond, where Blood Diamond decided to start the fight by turning to his right and just running around in a circle and then falling down, getting his foot caught in the cage and having Jeremiah Wells swarm him and then pretty much just rock him and crush him. It was awesome, man. I had Jeremiah Wells that night, and that was probably my favorite bet of all time. I have no idea what Blood Diamond was doing. That was hilarious. Good grappler from Jeremiah Wells. Very good jiu-jitsu, BJJ black belt, and heavy hands. He's explosive. He doesn't throw that much volume, but he doesn't really need to because he could just crack you with one punch in the fury and you're rocked, and that's it. Semelsberger on the other side, coming off a very impressive performance against Jake Matthews, where I did lose money. I had money on Jake Matthews there in that fight, and Semelsberger got it done, man. He dropped him in every single round in that fight. He looked like $1 million. So I wonder if in this fight, we're going to have the effect that we had on Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews was coming off knocking out Andre Fialho, and then everyone was really high on Jake Matthews going in the Semelsberger fight, and then Semelsberger goes out and rocks him pretty much all 3 rounds. So now I'm wondering if everyone's really high on Matthew Semelsberger when they really shouldn't be. All right, man. I think he's a good enough fighter to win this fight. I really like his intangibles in this fight, being 6'1" and 7 with a 75-inch reach over the smaller Jeremiah Wells. The grappling is worrisome, though, because Wells is a very good grappler, guys. I know he doesn't really use that much in the UFC because he's just sparking dudes, but he's a good grappler, man. Don't sleep on his BJJ. I'm going to go with Matt Semelsberger because I do think that he's more experienced at a higher level and just an average, well-rounded fighter, whereas Jeremiah Wells, I believe, is more of a finisher. And I don't know if he is more of a minute winner, whereas I do think Matthew Semelsberger is a minute winner. So give me Matthew Semelsberger to avoid that big punch, avoid getting finished in this fight, and to win a decision. This is a tough fight, but I'm going with Semelsberger, Semi the Jedi. Up next, we have a women's flyweight fight between Yasmin Lucindo and Brogan Walker. Lucindo comes in with a 13-5 record, currently sitting as a -300 favorite. She is 21 years old, 5'3", with a 66-inch reach. Brogan Walker on the other side comes in with a 7-3 record, currently sitting as a 230 underdog. She is 33 years old, 5'4", with a 67-inch reach. I'm going with Lucindo in this fight, man. I'm really surprised this is on the main card, but that just tells me that the UFC is using Lucindo and to hype her up here. I feel like they're using, Brogan Walker to hype up Lucindo. Brogan Walker, let's start with her. This line might be a bit of recency bias. She is a pretty big size underdog in this fight. It's because she looks so bad against Juliana Miller, who herself, Juliana, went on to look really, really bad in her most recent fight. So losing to her and losing the way she did, getting finished, is a very bad look, right? Juliana Miller, though, is way bigger than Lucindo. Her frame is way different than Lucindo, but I still expect Lucindo to dust this woman, man. If you're losing to Juliana Miller, getting hit at range against Miller, you're going to get crushed against Lucindo. Lucindo's speed is way better than Miller. Her technique is way better. Her variety of strikes is way better. And that grappling, I will say, is going to be closer than a lot of people think in this fight. Brogan Walker, that's probably the one thing that she can hold her own in this fight is the grappling realm. But on the feet at range, I feel like Lucindo is just going to pick her apart, dude. In her last fight against Yasmin Uruguay, that would have been fight of the night if Nate Landwehr wasn't on that card. Nate the Train. Shout out to Nate the Train. But that fight was a banger, dude. That fight against Yasmin Uruguay. But put both of them on the map. Both of them, you write their names down, you go, okay, the next time these girls fight, I'm betting against them if their opponent sucks. And here we go. Brogan Walker is not good at fighting, and I'm going with Lucindo, man. -300, I get it. She's never won a fight in the UFC. She's 21 years old, fighting a girl that's 12 years older. But, bro, talent-wise, skill-wise, technique-wise, IQ-wise, it's all going to Lucindo. Give me Yasmin Lucindo to win via any way she wants, but for the show, I'm going with a decision. After that, we have Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon. Bobby King Green coming in with a 29-14-1 record, riding a 2-fight losing streak where he's actually gotten finished 2 times in a row at 36 years old. He is -285 right now, 5'10", with a 71-inch reach. Jared Flash Gordon comes in with a 19-6 record, coming off a very controversial loss against Paddy Pimblett, currently sitting as a +225 underdog. He is 34 years old, 5'9", with a 68-inch reach. I mentioned earlier we had Fire Marshall on a parlay. And we parlayed Marshall with Green, man. I really think Green's going to finish this fight. Yes, Green wins the decision most of the time that he wins fights. And he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak where he got finished in both those fights. And he's 36 years old. A lot of red flags, right? But I don't care, man. He's going to be way more athletic, way more faster, and just overall safer and more elusive to strike than Jared Gordon, man. Jared Gordon, yes, he did fight a close fight against Paddy Pimblett, but that's almost a bad thing in my opinion, dude. Paddy Pimblett's striking is very suspect. It's very green. It's very mid. And he was landing a lot on Jared Gordon. He was landing very basic overhand rights, looping striking, and that's the opposite of how Bobby Green fights. I think Bobby Green's speed is going to be significant in this fight, even though he's an older fighter. There's been a lot of talk about Bobby Green talking about retirement, and he comes out and says that no, he wants to retire the name Bobby, and he wants to be known as King Green. So he's not really retiring; he's just retiring the name. And I thought that was hilarious. Just fought a ton of high-level guys, man. If he shows up and fights the way he fought against Fiziev, he's gonna kill Jared Gordon, man. Jared Gordon is gonna have to utilize his grappling in this fight to stay safe, and I don't think that he can do that for 15 minutes safely without gassing out himself. And Bobby Green himself, man, he has good body game. I understand that Islam recently dominated him on the mat, but that's Islam Makhachev, guys. You can't really base his grappling off someone like that. I think that he's competent enough, has good enough grappling IQ to stay safe and get up and get back on the feet, get separation, and start lining him up again. Give me Bobby Green to win a decision or finish Jared Gordon. I am very confident in Bobby Green. I don't care. He's 36 years old. Give me Bobby King Green. Now, this next fight is close and tough to call, guys. We have the co-main event, Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Brad Tavares comes in 19-7, currently sitting as a -155 favorite. Now, let's see if that line has stayed. Let's check right now on best fight odds. Yeah, it's around there, pretty much most look -160 for Brad Tavares. On Bruno Silva, around +130. Brad Tavares, man, a UFC vet. What can we say, man? He's been in the division for a super long time. 35 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. On the other side, we have Bruno Silva, dude, 22-8, +130, 33 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. We have to start with Bruno Silva. How could we not, dude? His last fight, what happened, man? Against Gerald Meerschaert, right? A grappler, a submission specialist. He was getting lit up on the feet. It was the most bizarre thing to watch. He was just chasing. Meerschaert was able to back up, go to the left, back up, go to the right, and just pick this guy apart. I was stunned. Bruno Silva looked like he got staph infection or a ringworm or something. He looked slow. He looked sloppy. He looked out of it. It was the strangest thing. And the fight before that, he fought Alex Pereira, the ex-champion. He took all of Alex's best shots, right? They go to decision. He was close to those first 2 rounds. In that 3rd round, he was toast, and he was just trying to survive at that point and had nothing for Alex. But that's Alex Pereira, guys. So it's just insane to me that he doesn't get knocked out against Alex Pereira, right? And he goes against Gerald Meerschaert, the submission specialist, and gets lit up and dropped in that fight, clubbed and subbed. Just one of those things that makes me think, okay, did Alex Pereira just take away this guy's chin? Did he just like use it all against Pereira and then had nothing left against Meerschaert? That's what I thought it happened against Stipe against Ngannou, where did he use them all against Ngannou? Like now he has nothing left. But yeah, man, so you gotta wonder, right? Other than that Meerschaert fight, if that Meerschaert fight didn't happen, I'll be talking about how much I like Bruno Silva because, dude, the guy is dangerous on the feet and very dangerous on the mat. He throws heavy, he throws bombs, and he's a heavy hitter, dude. His grappling is not a joke either. Watch his BJJ competitions on Fight Pass, man. This guy's a beast. There's no jiu-jitsu he does. This guy's legit on the mat. On the other side, though, Brad Tavares, very well-rounded, very good striker and a very good chin, right? A Hawaiian dude, so you know the Hawaiians have very good chin. He's been fighting forever. A lot of experience on his side. The guy was on Ultimate Fighter way back in the day, and unless your name is Nick Maximoff, he has very good takedown defense. So I expect this to be a 15-minute striking fight where I expect Brad to be the very much better technical fighter, the guy to throw more volume, and to stay safe. Whereas Bruno Silva will be chasing, plotting forward, trying to land that big shot. Maybe even mixing some grappling here in this fight. Wouldn't surprise me. But I got Tavares, man. I need him to stay safe to win this fight. He's 35 years old. He's getting up there in age. Man, it's tough because he fought against Giagos du Plessis and then went to decision. I actually called that fight to go to decision and for Giagos to win his first ever decision in the UFC. But, man, another thing, did he waste all his chin, man? Did he use all of his chin taking those big shots, and is that chin zapped? Is it gone? We're going to fight out against Bruno Silva, and I'm going with Tavares, man. Give me the Vegas local guy. Give me Brad Tavares to win a decision in a very, very tough fight to call, guys. I'm not very confident in that pick, and I'm definitely not betting this fight. Give me Brad Tavares to win a decision, and even betting the over-under 1.5, 2.5 rounds is risky, man. At any moment, Silva can get dropped, apparently. Now against Jared Meerschaert and against Brad Tavares, and he might be able to land that one big shot. Yeah, give me Brad Tavares to win the decision, man. And here we go, guys. We're at the main event. Do me a favor, guys. Real fast, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about my picks so far, dude. We just hit 200 subscribers. Want to shout you guys out, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate all the support, dude. Just start commenting, man. Hit me up. Let me know what you think about my picks. Yeah, man. So this main event, I am super pumped. We have Sergei Pavlovich, 17-1, plus 145, 30 years old, 6'3", with an 84-inch reach. On the other side, we have Curtis Razor Blaydes, man, 17-3, sitting as a minus 175 favorite, 32 years old, 6'4", with an 80-inch reach. Now, up until this moment, I still didn't know who I was going to pick, man. I'm so torn on this fight because Sergei Pavlovich, 5 knockouts in the first round in a row. First 2 against some bums. Last 3, you could even, put him under a microscope even a little more. Let's start with the most recent one. Tai Tuivasa knocked him out and made it look quick, right? He's coming off 2 knockouts in the very first minute of the fight. He knocked out Tuivasa in the 1 minute. He knocked out Derek Lewis in 1 minute. But both those are a little bit worrisome and not really that truthful. Tai Tuivasa was coming off a very recent fight against Cyril Gane. He only took about 2.5 months off and then signed the fight to Sergei. So he took a ton of damage, didn't take much time off, and then came and fought Sergei, got knocked out in 1 round. You got to imagine what would it look like if Tai Tuivasa had 9 months to recover from that Gane fight. I think he probably would have been more durable. And then Derek Lewis, right? Derek Lewis at this point, yes, it looks good. Derek Lewis actually knocked out Curtis Blaydes. Derek Lewis is just a professional check collector at this point, man. He's trying to make weight. He doesn't care if he gets his win bonus, and if he does, it's probably going to get a sick knockout. If he doesn't do it in his first little attempt, his first fury, he's like, all right, whatever, like, don't knock me out. And that was a quick stoppage. But, man, dude, Derek Lewis, a complete check casher at this point. So, tough to gauge that win. Shamil Abdurakhimov was super old, not that high level of fighter. Maurice Green, not in the UFC. And Marcelo Golm, not in the UFC. Curtis Blaydes on the other side, man, 17-3, only lost to Francis Ngannou when Derek Lewis been knocked out 3 times. He's never lost a decision. He's never lost a fight other than getting knocked out. And this guy's the best grappler in the heavyweight division, man. Most takedowns in heavyweight history, most control time in heavyweight history. The guy's a beast. Sergei Pavlovich on the other side, dude, the hand speed is unreal. So how long does Curtis Blaydes take to shoot a takedown in this fight? Because if you watch that Chris Daukaus fight, he stood the whole fight, and why not? Chris Daukaus sucks. He knew he sucks. He knew he had a better striking than Chris Daukaus. And that's one thing I want to mention, man. I love Curtis Blaydes. I love both these guys. I love Curtis Blaydes though because his striking has been getting better and better and better. His footwork is better. His timing is better. His feints are getting better. And that's kind of worrisome though because he's starting to fall in love with his hands too much, man. Like, don't risk it. Don't risk standing against Pavlovich, man. I was watching an interview, headline in an interview. It says, Curtis Blaydes on Pavlovich, quote, "I am better than him everywhere." And you know that gif or that meme where the guy goes like, "Hey, yo," like, no, bro, like that was me. I was like, yo, no, like, dude, don't. You are not better than him at striking, dude. Pavlovich will absolutely spark Curtis Blaydes if Curtis Blaydes decide to just stand and bang for 5 straight minutes in that first round. Over under 1.5 rounds. I love that play because we have to talk about Pavlovich's wrestling, right? So can he stop Curtis Blaydes' takedowns, right? Blaydes should, in theory, shoot on Pavlovich over and over and over again in this fight. And we've seen Pavlovich wrestle in the UFC 1 time, and it was his debut against Alistair Overeem, who trains for Curtis Blaydes. And Overeem is a striker, guys, and he made Pavlovich look like a fish out of water on his back, all right? So it goes to show, if you decide to base your judgment on his grappling from a fight that was like 5 years ago against Overeem, that this guy cannot wrestle. He's fighting the best wrestler in the division's history, pretty much, or like right now, currently, sorry. It's going to look bad, right? It's going to look bad for Pavlovich if he can't defend a takedown from Curtis Blaydes. It's tough, though, dude. His hands are so fast, and he's doing it so quickly in his most recent fights. But overall, man, I have to go with Curtis Blaydes, man. If you know me, man, you know my show. You know I most of the time go with a guy with a better grappling advantage, and it's Curtis Blaydes 1,000% in this fight. The striking from Sergei worries me, man, for sure. He spent time at AKA before. He's from Dagestan. He's from Khabib's gym. I remember thinking, like, there's no way, man. There's no way these Dagestani dudes can just take over every division. Like, what the hell is this? They can't do this to us, man. So give me Curtis Blaydes. I'd honestly pick both these fighters to defeat John Jones if they ever do fight John Jones. I like both these guys to be champion one day, and it sucks that they have to fight each other right now. But give me Curtis Blaydes, man. Tough pick to call. I love him to win inside the distance. Definitely not going to win a decision in this fight. Give me Curtis Blaydes, man. Give me Curtis Blaydes to win via first round knockout, ground and pound finish. that'd be it, man. That's a whole show. Thanks for watching, guys. We just hit, like I said, 200 subscribers, man. We really appreciate it. It's been super dope making these videos. So real fast, like we always do, we're going to go over our picks for the whole card really fast and then give you guys my bets so far. So far, let's go with Curtis Blaydes, Brad Tavares, Bobby Green, Lucindo, Semelsberger, Glenn, Montel Jackson, Karol Rosa, Junior Tafa, Francis Marshall, Karine Silva, and Danaa Batgerel. And for our bets, guys, we are going a parlay Bobby Green and Francis Marshall at plus 105 for 1 unit. We laid 1 unit on that, man. I think both guys will win those fights. I feel good about that parlay. And then we took a 1.5 unit shot on Danaa Batgerel, man. I think that he's going to knock out Brady Hiestand. I really feel confident in that pick. Sucks because I like Brady as a dude, but I think Danaa gets this win for us, guys. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Good luck on your picks and bets this week, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.